So I do want to point out that in the last couple of series, 100 Thieves in Game 1 have opened with very similar comps where they gave away Orianna specifically, and then they picked Quid's Akali into it. They did it both versus Lion as well as yesterday versus Cloud9. So I want to see if they want to do a similar strat, but it really does seem that 100 Thieves are very okay with this as an opener. I mean, the Aurora definitely is a flex pick, but we literally had Dhokla tell us he thinks top lane Aurora is complete.
Yeah, it's fake. It doesn't exist.
It's gone. You know what? Maybe he was lying to us. Maybe Dhokla, that was the big brain,
No,
Kobe.
that's a mid lane Aurora.
Okay.
I think he hates this champ.
But it would kind of change that consistency, like you said, of the Akali. We'll keep our eyes on that going forward because Quid has been pulling out these melee champions more often. On the answer from Shopify, though, it's going to be Corki and the Zhao.
Yep, and we'll see what 100 Thieves want to lock in. I do like that, you know, Shopify did prepare for that potential Akali pick by banning it third there.
Ooh.
We see the Ambessa locked in.
It's coming. Next match.
Yeah, it's very controversial. I heard some
WASD guys getting booed.
Next match. We get one more week.
But yeah, Ambessa locked in for Dhokla. I feel like that's not really a huge surprise. You already covered, Kobe, about how we didn't think that Aurora was going top.
Yeah, and Dhokla definitely very confident on the champion. I know we interviewed, you know, Gold and Blue post in a, you know, drafts previous on the previous series. Is going to talking about it as well, but this does set them up with some heavy dive. 100 Thieves are showing pure dive right now, so I'm already thinking as much anti-dive for Shopify Rebellion as we can think of. Like Braum and Renata are kind of the two most defensive supports for anti-dive. And when you're looking at Aurora, Wukong, and Ambessa, you know your carries are going to have to try and avoid a lot of flank angles and a lot of very threatening dive.
Yeah, and we'll see if 100 Thieves want to remove that or just another champ that they don't particularly want to go up against for potentially one of their solo laners. But the big thing is just yesterday we saw 100 Thieves kind of pull out that Viego mid comp that then got immediately stuffed by a Renata pick. So
it's fresh on the mind.
Curious.
They should not miss that one.
I just think against dive, Renata is just so strong.
But that's an Alistair ban. So, Kobe, to your point, the Braum, the Renata Glask are still available for Shopify Rebellion. I wonder if they want to ban out something else that can dive. The Rakan already, maybe something like a Kaisa could work.
And maybe 100 Thieves are setting themselves up for like a rel pick here or something here, banning out the Alistar, because that would complement more dive even better. You know, have just really hard engaged for themselves. More Wombo there on top of it.
Yeah, and obviously Eyla's been super successful on the Rakan as we see that Yunara potentially moved, just a really strong AD pick, and also not something that you necessarily want to pick into the Wukongs. They already have Corki. But yeah, I think that a big transformation on this team has kind of been their willingness to go in like 100 Thieves of old, and then also the follow-up from River and Eyla working together in a lot of these fights, right? So taking the Rakan off the table is really good. I love the idea of a really strong engage, which Pop Blossom can absolutely be for Eyla to kind of follow up with the dive that the team is already bringing.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really peel this. Aurora, Wukong, Ambessa, Neeko. Like that, I don't think that's actually peelable because, you know, Aurora and Neeko both can go invisible and come from different flank angles. Wukong as well. You're gonna have clones everywhere. There's like you have Wukong clones, you have Neeko clones. Like there's
they got 7 models on the Rift. How's that fair? Yeah,
there's gonna be a lot of angles. So they just decide, you know what? We'll just go with the beefiest front line we can grab, the Sion. And we will try our best to put that wall in front.
And it is a takeaway from Dhokla. We know the 100 Thieves have been sometimes picking up this Sion once Dhokla started playing for a sniper here in the second half of the split. So I don't hate that from Shopify, all things considered.
Okay, so you might not be able to peel it, but you can like immune it with a Bard self-defensive ulti. So Bard defensive ulti is another like good counter-engage self-peel type. But it's not that easy to pull off, especially if there's so many forms of engage from the 100 Thieves side.
Especially if you're the one getting engaged on as well. The Ambessa, the Wukong can make your life miserable. And then Jhin is the follow-up. So not something like a Kaisa that will jump in there with everybody. Instead, something that can follow up from range.
Yeah, and we do see Jhin being locked in with Wukong, with Neeko a lot. First of all, Neeko kind of just transforms your bot lane into an absolute terror early in terms of push, but then Also, there is setup for this Jhin. It's actually a really interesting draft because I feel like both teams come away with exactly what they want to play. In particular, I think this is a team composition that 100 Thieves will be super, super happy with. This is exactly how these players really like to take over games through team fights, and they themselves have cited that their team fighting is their greatest strength and also how they feel they need to win games.
Yeah, I think both teams have good ways that they can pull off team fights. And 100 Thieves are going to have better side laning as well, though. So that might be something that could be a problem for Shopify because there's going to be a lot of threat on any of those. Orianna going into a side lane this game seems a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, well, for the Thieves fans out there, they're probably feeling good about this game. 1 draft. They'll be cheering along for the heist to continue into FlyQuest tomorrow, where Shopify Rebellion, they're fighting for the franchise's first finals appearance. Meanwhile, River, to start things off, just gets killed. First blood over to Seos. What a way to start a best of 5.
Yeah, we are already off to the races with, I want to say, one of the quickest first bloods we've seen thus far in LTA this year, definitely in Split 3. So yeah, Shopify, they're going to be coming to lane with a little bit of extra on the Bard.
Yeah, that's almost as fast as you can get a first blood because they both ran straight out of base down mid lane. This reminds me of, like, I forget what year it was, but we had the TL one where they literally...
The
Nautilus mid, yeah.
Core JJ Nautilus just ran straight from mid all the way down. And River ran into this one laughing. He had the Kick W emo going as he walked into River. The entire team has been laughing, though. We saw, on the player cams afterwards, too. Like, Eyla was laughing, 100 Thieves. Even despite giving up one of the quickest first bloods that you possibly can. It's all good, We're having fun playing some League of Legends with our friends.
I love River so much.
All right, well, you know what? We can give our thoughts on that. I want to hear from one of the coaches. We have Azale standing by with 100 Thieves coach Golden Glue.
I'm here with Golden Glue. Golden Glue, your team just gave up the fastest first blood we've seen this split. Thoughts?
The best part is that we showed that exact clip right before we went on stage, and then we just watched that exact thing happen. So presentations are fake, morning meetings are fake. I don't know what to say.
What is real? KBBQ?
KBBQ is very well. We'll definitely be getting KBBQ after that first blood for sure.
So there's some dramas tearing the LTA apart. I've heard that Demonte was over there, beautiful suit. I heard he was expecting his boy here to also be wearing a suit, but no suit. What's up with that?
So this is a psyop right now. That's what's happening. Demonte is trying to get in my head, but it's not going to work. And that's all I have to say.
All right, well, fair enough. You look great either way. Best of luck with the series.
This is actually perfect because I was playing ARAMs last night with Demonte, and his friends were trying to convince him, oh, you got to wear a suit. And he's like, no one else is going to wear a suit. And they're like, well, Kobe, you should go wear a suit too. Then he'll feel more comfortable. But I was like, I'm not gonna. But Demonte did it anyways. He's a Chad.
Okay, you know what?
Golden
Respect
Glue.
to Demonte.
Golden Glue, though, kind of.
Golden Glue's got to step up.
Hung him out to dry.
I want to see that man in a suit. There's the suit. We have a suit camera. Another binding, by the way, onto FBI right there. So early heal from Eyla. 100 Thieves trying to get this wave shoved in and get traded on.
Yeah, those are also just a fun reaction to some of the bot lane scrapping we have going on here. Already pointed out. Neeko and Jhin, really obnoxious lane to go up against. And once they hit level 6, also just a lot of kill potential.
Yeah. The double Jins down there are doing some damage here.
Which one's autos are real? Ooh, good damage there onto Bvoy. Does not have the barrier, and the heal was used by Seos earlier as well, so Bvoy's actually got to be kind of careful now with that low of a health bar. Meanwhile, topside, Dhokla's actually taking a lot of damage from Fudge in the 1v1. A turret shot onto the Sion means that probably less likelihood of a dive here, as Dhokla will try his best to get the minions under the turret.
Yeah, look at Contractz heading up there, though, so you got to be a little careful. That Jhin
here.
But look at River right now. He's already bot side under the turret. Bvoy's jumping in, had the flash available, but kill secured by the Thieves, capitalizing on the low health bar and no barrier.
And that's what I love about both of these junglers, in particular River. He always finds these kind of creative wraparound angles. We see it there to help his bot lane get this kill. it is on to the Neeko. So both supports here with a kill over their bot laners, but the assist going over to FBI. So they should return to lane nice and happy. And yeah, I just love some of these angles that River seems to always be able to find, especially around like level 3, level 4.
Yeah, especially when both side lanes are trading so heavily. And we're like looking at top lane getting super low, but bottom lane also getting super low under tower. And so River is able to get down there and make the action happen. But when they split kills like that, and the CS lead still in favor of 100 Thieves in the Jhin lane because they were pushing very heavily.
Decent amount.
That is good for their bottom lane. The opposite is true for the Sion, though, with Fudge here accruing a little bit of a lead over Dhokla, having pushed him in, and we saw him get so low under tower, dropping out on some, as Fudge used his teleport to get down there. So Dhokla will have his teleports advantage if he's able to clean up most of these minions and cut down on the lead a bit, and then use his teleports advantage that he does now have.
Mid lane, it looks like Contractz is just pushing Quid out of this lane here, so trying to be active. That's Flash out from the Aurora.
I think he was scared of a Bard angle there. Bard tunnel possibly coming down over the back of the Baron pit wall. He was a little scared of the angle from the duo.
And Contractz was waiting there for quite a while, kind of looking for a potential angle onto Quid. So good to get the flash off, and we'll see if he is able to revisit that, as Dhokla continues to take a lot of damage from the Sion.
Yeah, I mean, he's level 5. Does he hit 6 there? Yeah, okay. So he just needed the last minions. Surprised the Fudge didn't actually look for a little bit more, but Dhokla level 6 should be fine now. Dragon started up by River. Meanwhile, we see Contractz on the top side, so should be no contest for this objective.
Yep, we'll go over to 100 Thieves. And as we take a look at these bot laners top, I've heard from Dhokla yesterday that we have a little bit of a score to settle, because we have 2 former NRG teammates going up against 2 former NRG teammates, right? So he did end up saying, you know, we'll find out who the better 2 are.
Yeah. And did you see that footage, the behind-the-scenes footage? First off, the thief is back in the studio. We got to figure out how to security to not let him in. But they were exchanging some words, you know, getting aggressive with each other. So, yeah, a lot on the line. A lot of pride on the line, at least.
How'd you know that, Kangas?
I saw the footage.
You saw the footage?
I saw the footage, yeah.
But yeah, here is that quote from Dhokla after yesterday's victorious match against C9. It was just really fun to you know, hear from him. Obviously, he and FBI are on this team with Palafox and Contractz, kind of one of the ghost of NRG is on the Rift today. Yeah, that's a title.
It's not October yet, but I'm already getting shivers.
This is yeah, wow. I didn't know it was that dramatic. A lot of things are tearing the LTA apart today.
Talking to both sides, too, they're like, we're going to show them that we were the better duo on energy. You know, Palafox and Contractz. Meanwhile, Dhokla and FBI. And both sides kind of said that they certainly had their fair share of arguments with inside the team. So this is a nice way to settle. Actually, we were correct.
And, I mean, this is kind of the definitive one, because the losers' season won't end. They will still be going towards the LTA playoffs and have a chance at Worlds, but they won't get a chance to fight FlyQuest for that North Conference Finals title. As the Shockwave mid on the Quid, he buffers it with the weirding to get that distance needed. Didn't have flash, so he was susceptible to a play there.
But he does push them out right before Grubs spawn, right? So now Shopify do have first rotation on these Grubs, and we'll see River is kind of potentially looking for a steal soft contest. I'm not sure if they're actually going to hard contest this, though.
Ayla's level 5, though, so they don't have the pop loss. Let's see how bad River wants it. Multiple members of Shopify Rebellion nearby, and 100 Thieves just are not ready. Quid even stayed for another wave and is only now backing, so Cosmic Binding lands. Ooh, and the Deadly Flourish does not from FBI. So Seos gets out. Shopify Rebellion get all 3 Grubs.
Yeah, and nice little rotation that started with getting that mid-prio, clearing Quid out so he couldn't loop around and potentially help them. It does look like 100 Thieves might just be looking to potentially take away some camps.
I mean, this is 100 Thieves now looking for maybe a little bit extra here. Yeah, Shopify get it, but oh, Pop Blossom now from Eyla doesn't get in range of Palafox, flashed away. So Orianna down to Summoner Spell, but avoids the play.
All right, let's see if that's an area for punishment. Of course, Quid still has a little bit on his flash from the earlier Contractz gank. But now the Orianna, this is the champion that we were looking at in draft as being the one that has to play probably the most safe on their team, because we'll be a heavy target for a lot of the 100 Thieves dive that they have. And so good job there by Eyla doing step number 1, floating Orianna's
Getting
flash.
that flash, yeah.
But we're approaching that point of the game here, 9.5 minutes in, an objective to each team. Gold is dead even. Who are we favoring if it's a slower game state? No one's getting a big lead, and we're just kind of slowly starting to scale into that mid game.
I don't think there is a scaling kind of, break point that we're going to come up to very quickly here. 100 Thieves have a very different comp with all looking for a dive. And Shopify do have a very good scaling front line, with the Sion, good scaling on their team. But you've got plenty of time here, as we have not even completed single items for either team.
Yeah, and one thing that's actually pretty interesting in looking at both of these teams and kind of talking to people from both of them are their early games. Of all teams in Split 3, Shopify, at goal difference at 15, Shopify are 7th and 100 Thieves are 8th. So you're looking at two teams that are really trying to kind of figure out where those objective contests could potentially go wrong in the early game, right? Or what they might be doing in the early game to try to shore up and get gold onto their carries sooner. But I thought it was interesting because both of these teams, in going through their wins, have had these kind of come from behind wins through team fighting specifically.
It's been about the clutch factor for both of them most of all. We see currently, though, we have lane swaps yet again. Dhokla gets a wave shoved in bot, now goes towards the top side. Meanwhile, Bvoy's bot now into Quid. So 100 Thieves still at their bot lane, hanging out mid lane, as Quid will catch that wave down there. No objectives on the map, so nothing to fight for immediately. But 30 seconds, now they're going for the dive. Tempered Fate lands onto the turret and a Quid. Got some grinding as well, and Quid's in a lot of trouble, but he gets damage on it. Seos almost turns it back around, barely goes down. Contractz with a kill credit. Shopify belly pull off the dive, but Eyla's there. Has Pop Blossom, has Flash. Doesn't have a lot of damage nearby, though. We're waiting for River. We're waiting for FBI to come down. Now Eyla will start the approach on the next wave hitting the turret. Shopify Rebellion stuck around for a plate. Flash, Pop Blossom lands. Zhao in some trouble, and River picks up that kill. Now Deadly Flourish. They're going to continue on to Sion, but Fudge has a big health bar. Hard to lock down. 100 Thieves will just answer one kill in kind.
Good kind of answer there from Eyla on the Neeko again. Dhokla takes a little bit of damage here under tower, but it shouldn't be too big. That bottom answer, 400 Thieves, is actually quite big because it does ensure they're going to get Dragon number 2.
Public execution. Seos coming in, though. Dhokla didn't want this one, trying to use the Ambessa passive to get to safety. And Palafox used the shockwave earlier. Dhokla gets back to the turret.
Yeah, nice escape. And they are going to pick up that Dragon number 2 after their counter on bottom side. So Shopify, they did stick around a little bit extra to get some turret plate money down there, and it ended up costing them.
Ooh, but now Fudge, he actually stuck around for another wave, and River just took the Dragon. He's going to look for another gank down here. Flash is available, but no ultimate, so Sion will fall. Fudge giving some gold over to the Thieves.
And that gives them Feet of Warfare, and it goes back to exactly what you just said, Kobe, right? Where they stick around just a tiny bit too long, enough for Eyla and River to set up that play with FBI on the bot side. Ends up turning into a second drag for 100 Thieves. The Feet of Warfare with the kill onto Fudge. And now 100 Thieves are in a really good position. Nice 1.2k gold lead.
Yeah.
Spread out pretty evenly across the team as well. So we'll see where they can turn it from here, as now Seos and Palafox are looking for maybe something on the FBI.
Another Tempered Fate lands, falls up with a slow from the Cosmic Binding, but Palafox is here. Now Eyla is going to help to play bodyguard for FBI, keep Shopify Rebellion off of his AD carry. Gets FBI to safety.
I feel like Ayla's been playing quite well.
Yeah.
He's all over the place.
Had a good series yesterday as well, kind of overall, and so far starting out today, making quite a few plays for the Thieves. Let's see if they can keep their Dragon stacking going, because 100 Thieves here with an early lead and gold and objectives. But we have seen them have early leads before.
Quid now finds himself in a 2v1 as it's Eyla nearby. Palafox has some backup coming his way. Seos looking for the play, only gets a slow onto Eyla, not the stun into the minions. So Palafox is fine, but no play for Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, good protection
Oh, I
from
spoke
Palafox.
too soon, actually. Contractz is going in here. It's in Zhao. Fancies himself a 1v2, keeping them off the wave. That will be another wave crashing bot side.
That's the thing with these two teams. There's
Yeah.
always another play to be
Yeah.
had.
It's like
They're never
someone
done.
punches, they punch back. And this is actually a nice little sneaky play from Contractz that is going to end up getting Shopify this first turret down on bot side.
Beautiful.
Because they were able to chase off 100 Thieves.
Okay, River here on the blue buff will get found by Fudge and Bvoy, but should be fine. He's Wukong, so pretty
Yep.
slippery, so he'll be able to get out with his stolen goods. Because they rushed down that tower, it does make... Yeah, we've got 3 people.
Yep, they're laughing at him. Fudge is like, did anyone see that? And maybe no one saw that. But yeah,
It's
100
fine.
Thieves, they're trying to make the counterplay topside for the buff, but they can't get the turret. So that is Shopify now turret advantage.
Yeah, they can't get the turret, but Dhokla has actually, because of a lot of the craziness that's been going on the bot side of the map, he's had a lot of alone time with this turret, which has kind of, with the combined kill onto Fudge that happened on that bot side, has gotten him a gold lead now over the
Nice.
Sion.
And I gotta say, credit to Shopify's strategy here. Quid still hasn't finished the first item. Quid was such a big factor in their series win yesterday. It seems like Shopify Rebellion are really focusing on his lane to put him behind.
Yeah, and you saw there on the damage numbers, Palafox has been trading pretty frequently on the Orianna, so pretty high up there. But we'll see as far as the side lane play. Contractz and Sales working together here. Jhin with Bard mobility right behind him is definitely dangerous, so I think they should be able to grab this Herald. And as we were going to say before, when Shopify rushed down that tower, they got themselves one of the feats, and 100 Thieves were so close to completing it that if they deny this objective as well, that would be 2 and 2 for objectives.
It wouldn't be
We're
Thieves if it
teleporting
were
in, we're
contested.
portaling in. Everybody's looking for the contest right now. Contractz has a crescent guarded. It's stolen by River. They will take down FBI. Fudge with the kill credit there. But on the bottom side here, Quid and Dhokla are trying to fight Seos and Palafox. Fudge being the front line. Double kill to the Sion. As it's now Quid, Eyla, and River trying to get a scraps from the play. But Quid's chased down into his own jungle. Flashes the wall, flash follow from Fudge. Shopify Rebellion clean up the fight.
And they're not even done! Okay, Eyla, nice little juke there on the Neeko. He should be able to get out now. Okay, River is actually miraculous in how many things he steals. It is correct that he is on the 100 Thieves and constantly stealing objectives, but they lose the fight here critically. Sion does a lot of work. Orianna, doing a decent amount of work here as well, and Shopify. So let's take a look at River getting in there for another smite. Contractz smited a little bit early there, it looks like, but then they turn on the fight and immediately just take out FBI. Contractz turned right back around. He got his knock up onto FBI, and Fudge is there with him.
Yeah, and also when the Between Worlds, right, is popped from Quid, he's not really able to burst down anyone or get a ton of chunks, and Fudge is just already so tanky that he's able to frontline for them. They're going to end up cleaning up Quid here. And that's a really, really nice fight coming out of Shopify, now evening the gold and putting them in a really good position objective-wise.
Yeah, I mean, he's tanky, and because he went with the first item, Titanic Hydra, he also had enough damage to be a real threat in that fight. This isn't one of the fights where, they ignore the Sion and they walk by the Sion. He actually did a tremendous amount of damage there, too.
We could be at the next fight. Dhokla just took a turret, has a teleport available. River's taking the portal over the wall right now. 100 Thieves are a little split. They're all surrounding Shopify Rebellion, but Shopify outside of Palafox are grouped up. It's going to be River maybe looking for a steal, but Shopify will push him away from the pit here, as he'll have to try and get back through the mid lane. Flashes over Fudge's ultimate, as Contractz still on the dragon now. Dhokla looking for a pick out here. There's that Bard ultimate, trying to buy space, trying to buy time, but Eyla with the Pop Blossom doesn't land on the Palafox, lands on everybody else, and that's what the Thieves needed. Dhokla unleashed on the backline, takes down Palafox, as River now taking out Fudge with the rest of the team. FBI kill credit, 100 Thieves strike back.
A split fight is what 100 Thieves want. They want chaos so they can use all of these dive champions to get all these flank angles.
Yeah.
And Shopify still had some people on Dragon and some people chasing River. River ran them on a little circus route through mid lane.
Their frontline ults away. Yeah.
And most importantly, they're also distracted by the TP coming in from Dhokla, getting on to Palafox. Meanwhile, there's so much room to be able to get on and take out Bvoy here. As we look, River kind of really separates them where they think, okay, we can get onto River. Dhokla is already TP'd in. Watch where he comes in onto Palafox because River then escapes and Bvoy is already in the middle of this fight. So there's an immediate angle onto him.
Yeah, and then the Bard ultimate just kind of delayed it a little bit. They were still able to finish though. Dhokla here, even with 3 people on him, he's still able to finish off Palafox and chase them down. And 100 Thieves, they win out in the scrappy, drawn across the map fight right there.
Watching these two teams go up against each other is just so fun. One of the things 100 Thieves did bring up, though, was their early to mid objective contests, right? Because they were like, that's where we feel like we're losing out. We saw them lose out at the Herald and then bring it back after that Dragon fight.
Okay, but that one, though, is not something that's like, oh, we drew up this plan. River, you're going to draw them out. They're for sure going to take this bait. Chase you through mid lane. They're going to side ult at you. You got to flash. And then, you know, your Contractz is still going to be on Dragon. So that's going to leave Palafox exposed.
No, just as planned.
Exactly.
No, it was all drawn up.
You got to be able to react in the moment with how these team fights are unfolding with these two teams. And
here's River.
He's taking another portal in. I mean, you're never going to kill Fudge there. But to your point, Kobe, yeah, I mean, like, moments like that, it's all about execution. And 100 Thieves, they love that chaos. They love finding those random little moments around these objectives and capitalizing on them.
Well, that's been the biggest difference in this new revitalized 100 Thieves, which looks a lot like the old unexpected 100 Thieves, is their willingness to pull the trigger in fights. And we saw it there from that split fight. Now they are out to 2K gold lead right here, but
I feel like we should have the Jaws theme right now with what we see on screen right here. Dun, dun,
it has spawned.
So Otacon is on the rift.
I would say for 100 Thieves, especially since, you know, they have talked about their coaches talking to them about Otacon a lot. You've got a Dragon Soul coming up in under 3 minutes. That is very high value and compared to Otacon, extremely low risk. So it should not be 100 Thieves starting up the Otacon. In my opinion, under any like even circumstances like we see now, okay, yeah, if you like killed a couple people, then go for it. But you should always just wait for the soul and go for that instead. And keep your wards on the Otacon, so if Shopify do it, then you can actually punish.
And I feel like one of the big things in the Otacons that won them fights, that won them games yesterday, was that they were kind of relying on C9 to start them first, and then it ended up being a split fight where they focused more on the fight than the Otacon. Of course, River did end up coming away with a few of those, but they were talking about how they want to focus more on the team fight itself when they're contesting. So I agree with you, Kobe. I think they should sit back, and unless it's like a 99% guarantee, like wave is pushed out, they've already killed out a few people, don't do the Otacon.
I got really scared because right when you were saying that, River was walking towards it. They have all this vision down, so they will see any moment that Shopify is approaching. Shopify are just now clearing out all those wards that 100 Thieves placed down. And here we go. They didn't even sweep it. Now the control ward goes down. Does River commit? I mean, we have seen a comical number of games thrown at this objective. 100 Thieves, 2K gold up. Dragon Soul point, a minute and a half after spawn. They're still on the Otacon. That's teleport out of Fudge. As Shopify will push up this bottom wave. 100 Thieves are backing off. Everybody take a deep breath. We're not getting the Otacon fight.
Okay, that one was actually just smart because they just get the teleport and as you say, they back off. Nobody overcommits to it, so that is just pure good play.
Well, now Shopify might have to start it up to make the teleport worth it, but Contractz takes a huge chunk of damage right there. I don't think that's a viable strategy for Shopify anymore. They got to back off.
And this is opening the map where 100 Thieves, again, they play better in the spread map here with the champions that they do have. Dhokla gets a tower.
Plus, look at how much bot side pressure they are getting. Not necessarily, although they just start the Otacon as I say
You know what? Contractz got chunked to about half health. Why not just start it up? Contractz still on the map, though.
Dragon Soul in 30 seconds on the other hand.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, okay, you don't have to do Otacon. You have so much pressure on this bot side. Reset, set up for that Drake Soul, because Hextech Drake would be absolutely huge to get, and, in my opinion, better than Otacon.
Getting heart palpitations here, man. Every time somebody starts that objective up, I start to panic. 15 seconds for that Dragon Soul, though, and currently at Shopify Rebellion to control the access points. They're even looking at Dhokla here, maybe as a play. But now the rest of 100 Thieves are hanging out outside of Quid, who is on a flank.
Yep, and Shopify are going to have first rotation onto this. We'll see how 100 Thieves want to contest this.
Yeah, they want to contest it from multiple angles because, again, the Shopify, they've got a tank advantage, huge tank advantage in Fudge, of course, but 100 Thieves have a lot of threats that want to flank around.
Quid's been spotted. They know that Quid is on this flank right now. Teleport coming in here from Dhokla. Gets his purchase. Now Quid takes the portal through. Seos doesn't land the stun on him. And now Seos is actually a little spread out from the rest of the team. Dhokla just says, let's just start the action. Public execution straight in, but a little early. Rest of the team not there. Palafox only lands on the one. Doesn't trade onto Palafox yet, but Bvoy is the focus. River takes him down. River takes out Palafox. River gets the double kill as the Thieves look to take down the front line. Fudge falls. Dragon to 100 Thieves. Another team fight win, and this is the soul.
Initially, I was like, oh no, Dhokla went a little too early, but the Pop Blossom comes in absolutely huge from Eyla, and more importantly, 100 Thieves have had such good prio on these key targets, onto Bvoy, onto Palafox, making sure they take them out. Now they have Hextech Soul, and it's perfectly safe to take this Otacon.
Exactly. Honestly, this game, I'm giving 100 Thieves so far like at least an A, if not an A+, because they have done so well here. Thank you, Emily. With not overcommitting to these objectives. And then we're going to take another look at this as live. Yeah, I guess there wasn't anything big happening on live, but here's another look. I want to also look at River here because River's going to take the Hex Gate over here and then finish off both carries from Shopify. So you see, even though Dhokla is dead now, that Pop Blossom you mentioned, it got Palafox's flash, so he's in the pit very low. And after they finished off Bvoy there from River taking the Hex Gate and then jumping on him, he's able to kill the other carry as well. So this is how you fight against these teams that do have a frontline advantage over you. You go for all these flank angles and you surgically remove their carries.
And I will say, obviously, they didn't know it was going to be Hextech Soul, right? But they are using the map so well with this Aurora crossing, with the Wukong crossing. It really enables their team composition to do exactly what you said. Find the flank angles, Kobe, and get on to key priority targets on Shopify.
It's one of those moments where they're just capitalizing on the chaos. They're saying, why front to back when we can just flank and get around them? Now the question is, how do Shopify Rebellion adapt? Because clearly setting up the battle lines is not working. Maybe they have to start looking for the picks, using Bard ult aggressively, using Sion ult to try and make plays. Like, we haven't really seen Shopify Rebellion be able to pull off that offensive play yet.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to contest in side lanes as well, as we kind of already set up with the way these two team compositions work. So I think what they're really hoping for is good vision and set up around an objective, potentially a pick prior to it.
I mean, it's just 100 Thieves having no chill. They're just invading the jungle and taking us. He was just trying to back, man. He's just trying to get out of there. Spend his pittance of gold as a support.
I was talking about how Shopify would potentially want to pick. It's 100 Thieves that are running much more of a pick-heavy composition.
Public execution onto Palafox. Shopify Rebellion have no quarter, no safety, nowhere on the rift where they can just farm to their heart's content. One traded back. Bvoy does get Dhokla. What a snipe. But still the Thieves.
But Quid is still on this bot side, going to be able to try to still hammer down on this bot tier 2 as 100 Thieves are just already on the Baron after those picks.
I think the miracle run is just going to continue for 100 Thieves. Their lower bracket run, it is crazy how the odds were stacked against them this year with the organization leaving the league at the end of the year, with them really underperforming for the beginning of the year. But, you know, in the elimination phase, 100 Thieves have completely and utterly destroyed their competition. They have really made such a huge comeback, and it is great to see all these players, you know, really playing well once again.
Well, we talked about motivation. We talked to some of the players about motivation at the beginning of this split, and we know 100 Thieves will not be in the league next year. They're all playing for basically their resumes to say, yes, sign us for, you know, future orgs, future teams going into next year. And I think that that is finally the 100 Thieves that we are seeing now. Everybody is playing at full firepower.
Yeah, and I also think just the 100 Thieves, actually, you could also say this about Shopify. They're both very, like, I think, momentum and almost vibes-based teams, right? They themselves have joked about this, and I think that really lends itself to the way that 100 Thieves like to play. Because we said, you know, welcome back to 100 Thieves at the initial start of their run because of how willing they were to pull the trigger on these team fights. Seeing them come out with a composition like this and have so much success on it really just showcases how coordinated they've been with each other.
As the siege continues bot side here, 100 Thieves looking to start cracking the base of Shopify Rebellion. The Elder Dragon's up in 1:40. They don't have to win right here. They can just try and get as much gold as possible and then reset for that fight. They're already 7,500 gold ahead. 100 Thieves, it's just putting the final touches on this game at this point. And Shopify Rebellion have not found much purchase at all in game number 1. It is a best-of-5 series. They will have more opportunities, but so far, the suit buff is just not working for Damonte, as 100 Thieves have been making quick work of them. Maybe they look for more here. They open up the curtains. They have the front line there. River's going for the dive. They just catch out Bvoy. Nobody's covering the damage, and they find even more. The dive continues. The ice will run on. 100 Thieves making quick work of Shopify Rebellion underneath their inhibitor turret, under their Nexus turrets. Dhokla's diving onto Palafox, and it's going to be a clean ace if they dive that fountain. Palafox desperately trying to get back under there, but 100 Thieves have a full wave available. They're teleporting back in. That's going to do it for game number 1. Palafox will watch as his turret falls. 100 Thieves, do they go for the ace? They can go for the dive. They'll just take the Nexus. Game 1, 100 Thieves.
Dhokla flashing the energy emo right there against his old teammates. And it's just game number 1, but it was a good looking game number 1 from the Thieves. What do you think, Lounge?
Pretty good. I feel like the 100 Thieves momentum is strong.
I'm worried. I'm worried about my predictions again.
I like how you're saying we were going to flip-flop as though you were not going to be the one to flip-flop.
Look, we'll see about